Hello guys, welcome back to Big Mood. We're going to start right off with a sponsor. Zola is an online wedding planning service for all of you brides-to-be out there. Mm-hmm. Are you ever engaged and you just like don't know how to make your wedding happen? That happened to me. I'm like, wow, cool, a ring. Oh my God, I have to make an event happen? How does that even, where do we do that? Mm-hmm. Well, Zola makes it very easy. You can find wedding vendors in your area. You explore save the dates and invitations. You create a free wedding website. You build your registry. It's basically a wedding planner without the cost of a wedding planner. Nice. So go to zola.com/bigmood today and use promo code SAVE50. That's SAVE50 to get 50% off your save the dates. You also get free personalized paper samples before you're purchased. That's zola.com/bigmood, promo code SAVE50. Yeah. Now let's get on with the show.
I think it's a missed opportunity that when people send out save the dates, they don't call it STD, so you can just give it to people, you know?
Give you an STD.
I just gave you my STD.
I'm going to give hundreds of people STDs.
Well, that's very fitting for the topic of this show.
Sweet.
Today, I asked the girls if we could talk about Chris D'Elia and his reemergence from under the rock that he crawled into.
How long has it been since that whole scandal broke out?
That was like in June, I think. So it's been almost 8 months that he just completely disappeared.
Time flew by.
Wow.
So
like 9 months.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. What do you guys know about the situation? Because I know that I was a kind of a fan of his, but were you guys fans of him, did you know anything about what happened?
I was not really a big fan of his, but I mean, he was all right. I mean, Eminem has him in his music video, so whatever. But I mean, I did delve into the heat.
You caught up with the
with the juice, the cheese meh. So he was like giving girls alcohol, like young girls alcohol, and like getting them super drunk, and then having sex with them. That's like just.
That's like texting.
That's
creepy ass texts. Mm-hmm. But then like all the texts were talking about all these people's experiences were that like he would continuously bring them drinks and more drinks and more drinks and like talk about having sex with them.
Well, he was also really like the texts and the DMs, at least, because like I reported on JK News, so I did read through a lot of them, and he was just really creepy but blunt of like, hey, so do you want to come to my room? Like, hey, do you want to suck my dick? Like what do you want to do? Like, and he was just pretty much using his like that power dynamic thing where he's a celebrity, and then if you're a fan of his, then
like come fuck me.
Yeah, pretty much. And
without any like human part.
Exactly, just using them as like objects. And then also the fact that a lot of these women were saying that, or I don't know if it was a lot, but at least a few were saying that they were underage and that he just didn't really bother to check, or that he knew they were underage.
Okay,
like
so there's obviously a lot of, no one really knows what's going on.
You didn't hear about the bunch of drinks? No.
So there was one thing in a hotel room where he had alcohol available for girls. And then there's also been a lot of like speculation on that he's a pedo or something like that. I was a fan of his, so I looked into this a lot more than I think most people do because
you were a big fan.
I was a big fan. And
I did see him in person once. I went to a Whitney taping.
That's pretty cool.
Long ago.
I used to watch that show. I mean, that's kind of where I knew him from. But anyway, he was kind of like not really a factor until his podcast came out, where I think that's where he actually got a lot of his fame was from that. Because let's be honest, his stand-up is not very good.
I've only seen one. And sorry, your hair is just so nice today. I can't stop looking.
I like it. It's really relaxing.
Untangled, just shiny.
Gina, you're getting off course here.
I know, sorry. But I've only seen one, and it was like my favorite segment. That's the only thing I know about him. It was doesn't even matter. The drunk girl.
The drunk girls was kind of funny. Yeah. So I mean, like from those bits, he got a lot of female fans. Like if you look at me, I'm a blueprint of his fan base. I think, and a lot of people in comedy know that a lot of his fans were girls. What I liked about his material on the podcast was a lot of comedy usually consists of like self-deprecation, and it's always like, just like really kind of like dark things where you try to make it funny. But like Chris's, all of his stuff was just like, no, I'm the richest guy alive. I'm the youngest guy alive. Like, I'm so fucking buff. Like, they're shooting a movie on my fucking back. Like, I felt like it was kind of funny to hear someone actually like make comedy in a way where it was like, I feel good about myself, you know? Like, so that's what
big dick
that's kind of like why, the big dick energy, but it was very bro-y, and it's not great comedy that should be respected. And I know he's not very respected in the comedy world. I get it.
Is he not?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think he is.
I think he was. Everyone has their niche.
Yeah, so his niche is it's like trashy, like stupid
It's like,
bro
was
humor.
Dane Cook respected in the comedy world? Some people like him.
I think they liked him a little bit, and then all of a sudden the whole world turned on him somehow.
He got too popular.
Oh, is that why?
And I don't
Selling
think
out
it's like
arenas.
it's like where they like, especially comedians, like when they see someone who kind of doesn't really deserve it because their comedy's not that good, but then like the public eats it up because it's like trash comedy. That
It's like Jim Carrey, you know, like he was like wild, like on top, and then just like everyone just started hating on him.
Oh, really? I thought the comedy style just shifted from like Jim Carrey style to like.
Oh, it did.
That's
Yeah,
true too.
right?
Like
Slapstick
what people
to
wanted,
dry-
yeah, died out.
People
yeah.
got sick of it, and it became more hacky.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So like for me, like if I'm going to say who my actual favorite comedians are right now, it would be Tim Dillon and Dave Chappelle. So that's the type of comedy I like. But for some reason, I also liked Chris D'Elia's style of comedy.
Dave
I don't know
Chappelle
why.
has never left my list.
Yeah, he just
always up there.
can do no wrong.
Been one of my favorites forever.
My favorite was freaking Louis C.K. and he got canceled too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
For a very similar thing. So
Yeah.
the pulling the dick out and masturbation thing, that is one of the accusations against Chris, was that so I took some notes because I went back and reread like what did the news actually say, what were the allegations. There was one where this girl who was an actress, she was 26 at the time, this was in 2011, she said that her and some mutuals, they were out in West Hollywood, they went to go eat dinner. He was like, oh hey, can you give me a ride home? She didn't really know him that well, but she marked him as like a safe guy because he's just like mutual friend or whatever. So she's like, yeah, sure, I'll take you home. So he gets in the car and he starts acting kind of like, so we're what are we gonna do now, kind of thing. And she's just like, like I'm just giving you a ride home. But then he whips his dick out.
Oh no.
No.
And starts like
No.
masturbating. She gets out of the car. He like finishes.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
she finished. Apparently, these are all allegations.
Right.
And then so I don't know what happened, but I guess somehow she got him out of the car and then left, and then so it was just very weird, like very creepy, deviant sexual behavior, but the kind that like Louis C.K. did, where like there was no one actually attacked or raped or anything, but it's like that rape of
Physically
the
touched.
eyes.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's that really disgusting.
Well, the fear of like, I don't know what this guy's gonna do next.
Exactly.
Like what's
Could
he
happen.
capable of? Yeah.
what could happen is very scary because he's a powerful celebrity at that point.
Has that ever happened to any of you guys? Like a dude just whipping out his dick
Yeah.
in front of you and jerking off when you didn't want it to happen?
Yeah. I
Happened
remember
to you?
in high school.
Whoa, I almost got smacked
I
on
was
my own
standing
hair.
at the corner, like walking home from school. I was sorry. I was walking home from school with my girl Jasmine, and we always split at this corner, but we all stand at that corner and talk a little bit first. And then at the corner, there's a stop sign, and like I was facing the stop sign, her back was faced towards me, and I remember talking to her and realizing I had like one earbud on, and I realized, that car's been stopped at that stop sign for a while. And then my music, like the song dies down, I hear, oh no. And then I was like,
Jeez. And your friend didn't hear this?
and then like she was talking, and then I looked behind her and the guy in the truck was like this Asian guy that was just jacking off. And I remember particularly.
he was kind of in his own little space though, right?
Yeah, you invaded his space.
True. Okay,
You walked up to his
Maybe,
car,
yeah,
you know?
maybe. But he made
kidding,
eye
I'm kidding.
contact with me, and then I remember the first thing I thought was, why is it soft?
What?
Yeah, he was jacking off while it was soft, and I was like,
Wait,
I've
you were able to
actually
see
seen
it?
that.
Yeah.
I've seen that
because
a
he was
lot,
like in
actually.
a truck, and I was like, or like he was in a car. I was standing somehow that I can actually see in there.
Oh.
What if it was hard?
Oh, that's sad.
Yeesh.
That's really sad. And then I told my girlfriend Jasmine, I'm like, Jasmine, walk away right now, and I'm gonna make sure that you walk away safely, because she had to walk past his car. It was gross.
Damn,
Aw.
dude.
Yeah,
Similar
so-
thing happened to me too. I was in like 4th grade, I think.
Oh no.
4th, 5th grade. And I was walking to my friend's house who lived near our school, and I would always go to her house after school, and usually I walk with her, but this one particular time I had to stay late to do something, and so she took off without me. So then I had to go to her house, and I walked past this one home where this dude was like on kind of like a flower bed ledge, like right up against
romantic.
right up against the house. And I remember clearly, like, he was wearing these basketball shorts, and he asked me, he was like, hey, excuse me, do you know the time? And then, because I had a watch, so then I look at the time and I tell him the time, and when I look over, he had his dick like out like through the pant leg of his basketball short, and he was like slithering it like a snake, and I was fucking traumatized.
How do you slither a dick?
I don't know. It looked like that in my 4th grade eyes.
Yeah.
Like that's what I saw.
It's probably moving up and down, like
Probably, but to me it looked like it was like that, and I was just like,
it turned into a
holy
monster
shit.
basically in your child's mind. It turned into a monster.
Yeah, so I
Dicks are
ran the
monsters.
rest of the way, and I was crying the whole way, and I was just like, my heart was pounding. I'm like, holy shit! Like it was
starts
intense.
so young.
I've never had a guy like masturbate in front of me where I wasn't approved first.
Right.
But when I lived in downtown LA in Little Tokyo, which is very close to Skid Row, I did see a lot of homeless dick. But I kind of give them a pass because they're on drugs or kind of crazy, or like they're already so
I did get
low.
peed on, like kind of.
Oh my god!
Whoa! Okay. Like in Hollywood,
Like not on purpose.
Not on purpose. I was in Hollywood, and a houseless man was
Houseless?
urinating on the wall, and I didn't know he was doing that until I walked by on Hollywood
Well,
Boulevard,
you walked
and
into
it
his pee
splashed.
stream.
It like splashed on me, and then I was like, "Oh, it's not raining." Oh,
Where did it hit you?
on my shin.
That's scary
Yeah.
too, because like I remember when I was living in downtown too, they had to spray the streets with I don't know some sort of
Disinfectant.
bleach or because there's just like Hep C outbreaks and stuff. So you never
Oh,
like
yeah.
getting peed on by a houseless person is quite scary.
Wow.
Just in the Skid Row area. But anyway, so other stuff that allegations against Chris were there was like stuff I guess talking about teenage girls things, but everything I've seen like. When I get to the end of that road, it's like, oh, he realized that they were 16 and then he pulled back and stopped.
Right.
So I didn't see any clear evidence that he was pursuing underage girls. There was probably a lot of
There's
like
some young girls,
19, 20-year-old, like very
Where
legal
he was in his
still.
30s and
Yeah,
they were, like,
legal
19.
but questionable because like it's socially acceptable, right? Especially with celebrities. To me, I find it creepy to go for girls that are 10 years your junior or 15 years younger than you. I just don't.
They're living out what they didn't get when they were 20 or 19
right,
or whatever.
because he's not a conventionally attractive guy.
Yeah.
So then now he has a celebrity and now he gets pussy thrown at him.
So many YouTuber guys were like that.
Exactly.
Like they just blew up in gaming and they're nerdy dudes, but like they had this huge following and very scandalous things.
Yeah.
Very scandalous
So
accusations.
it's like one of those things where like, am I shocked? No. Am I disappointed? Yeah. Am I surprised? No. You know, but as far as illegal, I personally don't believe he did anything illegal.
Right.
Morally,
So just creepy, not
yeah,
illegal.
morally wrong, yes, because there was like exposures. Those are illegal activities, like exposing yourself to someone when they didn't
Decent
consent
exposure.
I feel like that's illegal. So I don't know, but it appears he's avoiding any charges for anything like that. Because maybe the girls felt like, well, I went to his hotel room and. Maybe they're blaming themselves, so they didn't
Plus
press
to
charges.
charge
I don't
someone, you have to have a lot of evidence. It takes a long time. There's a lot of courts. It's a process.
It is.
Like, do
Yeah.
you want to involve yourself in that long of a process? No. That's why most people don't charge someone without enough evidence to like prosecute them.
That's true. So like if you look at someone like Marilyn Manson, who was like actually abusing the people that he was with, and I think the city is actually.
I heard something about like he would ask people like, "You want to see my girl's boobs?" But that's about it, really.
What? You didn't hear how he was torturing people?
No.
It was like BDSM, but like on the abusive scale, where it wasn't actually BDSM in like a
like he
consensual
would
way
lock
anymore.
girls up and keep them from eating or talking to their friends or
And
like.
this was all non-consensual.
Yeah,
Well, according to the girls,
the women are
yeah.
saying a lot of women now are saying.
Damn it! I loved Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I know. So I think the city actually just is already, or the sheriff's department or somebody like there's a point to where like the city or the state can
they're
actually
investigating
can
now.
investigate you regardless of if a victim calls for it or not. So like someone of that level of like actual illegal abusive behavior obviously deserves to be charged. Chris probably deserves maybe some sort of fines or something, but it seems like he's not getting anything, and that's whatever.
Oh, yeah. a guy did flash us in a park one time, and
You're just sitting here thinking about random dicks that were flashed.
no, it just reminded me that like because cops were called this thing because there was more than just me. There was like families and stuff,
Whoa.
and so like the cop was like, "Do you want to charge him?" And basically nobody charged him
Oh,
because it was just like a
no.
process.
Yeah, sometimes it's like not worth it.
Yeah,
but
and then
like,
they have your like they know who you are. You
Yeah.
can become a target. And it's just
yeah, or like if you sue someone, then all of a sudden a lot of your own personal information has to be revealed
True.
for
It's all
whatever
public data.
Yeah, so I mean, I get why they wouldn't and why he should probably still deserve some sort of something, but I think the backlash in his career kind of getting fucked is pretty good. You know, it's a pretty good.
matches the sentence.
I
matches
guess.
the
I mean,
crime.
because he's so publicly embarrassed. You know, he went in, he came and apologized, and the apology basically said like, look, I realized that the celebrity and the sex and all that, it turned into an addiction. I was feeding emptiness with the addiction. I didn't realize that because I was straightforward with these girls, that it still was kind of a using type of behavior. I didn't realize how like bad it was until it became that bad. Like I didn't realize how shitty I was being until it blew up, and then now I see that my behavior was like shitty, sexual,
I
addicted
did see
behavior.
his video coming back, and I don't know, like me reading whether or not it was genuine, it was like, I don't know, I felt like a lot of it wasn't very genuine.
I think he's still in the middle of coping with the fact that it's an addiction, and also like not really wanting to believe that
yeah, he's kind of in
he
denial.
doesn't have control over his addictions.
Yeah,
Maybe yet.
I felt that.
Also, it's as a man to have to like sit there and make an apology video. Like I get how that's probably really difficult for someone, especially someone that built up an ego and everything. Like
True.
To have to do that is very difficult. And also something I discovered in that apology video was that he was actually still cheating on his fiance, who he has a baby with.
Oh,
That part honestly kind of hurt me more than any of the rest of it,
Yeah,
because
he was like, I would still be cheating till this day if I didn't get
yeah.
caught.
So I figured,
he said that.
Yeah.
I figured like a celebrity like that, like, yeah, he's going to get famous. He's going to get a lot of pussy or whatever. But then I'm like, oh, he found this girl that now publicly he's saying, this is my fiance, I'm going to marry her and we're going to have a baby. I thought, who is this girl? I was like, wow, how fucking amazing. Like,
How lucky.
how lucky. Like, and then how awesome is she that like, she's so amazing that he's willing to like forego the spoils of celebrity to like now be a married man while he's still very, very well young enough to get a shit ton of pussy. So I was just like, wow, this is crazy. Like he's such a good family man. Like, you know, and then to
turns
find out he was cheating
He
the whole
wants his
time.
cake and eat it too.
Yep.
Yeah, that was super disappointing for me.
That is disappointing because that's more of a character flaw. Like you have like the addiction quality, but then also the character flaw of, or the, you know, of not.
Well, I
being
think that's what the
loyal.
addiction does
Yeah,
to you, though.
yeah.
It like above all else, the
Right.
sex part of it, like getting your fix, is above all, everything else. So that is kind of like the addiction
That's
part of it.
true.
So like you can be married to someone that has a sex addiction and they love you, they love the kids, but then they're still gonna like try to find ways to get that hit until they actually fully deal with the addiction. So
It's true. I guess with drugs, though, it's like, okay, you may have lied to me and broken that promise, but you didn't like cheat on me or like, you know, you weren't disloyal to me with a girl or whatever.
Well, there's a
It's-
different
there's a
form of that when
person,
it
yeah.
comes to.
There's
'cause
still a
then-
betrayal.
Yeah,
for
definitely.
Sure.
There's
yeah.
still betrayal because then they're like stealing from you to get money for their drugs or whatever. So yeah,
it's
there's
unfortunate with the
betrayal.
sex addiction too, because they can bring home STDs and
Yeah.
like it involves your health
And there's
too
other
in a
people
way
involved.
that so that's really unfortunate. But I guess I took one thing that I found was curious was that when he did disappear, none of his friends really
Stuck up for
stood
him.
up for him. No one in the
Yeah, if
industry
anything,
was
people like disowned him.
so I think there was definitely like he had a reputation of like, I mean, maybe the girls were getting younger and younger, like 18, 19. They're like, whoa, Chris, what's up? You know, like they saw that he was shitty with women. Women were a commodity. And that's very unfortunate to find out as a fan. And I think a lot of the women that are in his fan base were kind of like, oh, wow, we feel, you know, duped kind of in a way where like we liked him and his personality and we were a fan of him. We gave him that
Put
celebrity.
him on a
but
pedestal.
but then it turns out in real life he treated women like shit, basically. So that was very sucky,
Yeah.
I guess, to go through, you know? And so when he comes back, when I saw him come back, I was like a little bit disappointed. I was like, man, I'm going to have to
To earn my trust back.
Yeah, well, it's
gonna
kind
have
of
to make me laugh real good.
It's kind of like it's like that weird thing where you're like, I know this person probably doesn't deserve to fucking go to hell and like have everything stripped from him.
It's terrible.
So it's like you have to get to a place where you're like, okay, well now he deserves to be forgiven, but like I kind of don't want to, but then like I know he should be forgiven. So it's like a weird feeling when you are a fan of someone and then they do something and then you have to be like, okay, now I guess we have to process it and let it go and let you live your life. So there's a weird.
Do you think like when he jacks off and he finishes, does he get hungry?
Burns a lot of calories, I heard.
Right? I would be hungry.
Like I would want to eat like pretty fast though.
Right.
Like right away.
Right.
But like something fresh.
Right.
Yeah. Something that you could just whip up in like 30 minutes or less, right?
Yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you for that transition. Because I wasn't sure how I was going to get to jacking off in HelloFresh, but you guys did it for me.
We get there.
You guys know what HelloFresh is. It's one of those meal delivery kits.
I just ate it yesterday.
HelloFresh is actually my favorite. I've tried some other ones, even though HelloFresh is the one that sponsors us, because I'm lazy, so I'm like, I want to keep trying different ones. HelloFresh is actually my favorite. I can say that for sure. It's convenient, no contact delivery to your doorstep for easy cooking. I always get the one for like the family and cook extra.
Yeah.
And then just...
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it makes your life so much easier. We can kind of meal prep, but also recipes that aren't the same boring like turkey, meatballs, and rice. You know, like you get to try new things that you wouldn't have tried before because you get recipe cards, which is pretty fun.
You know what's really cool? Isaac has actually been making our most recent shipment because they gave us like 3 meals. So Isaac's already made 2 of them.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
He can
cook.
Yeah, well, I mean, Casey and I are there to help. Mainly Casey.
It holds
but
your hand though. I mean, HelloFresh makes it easy.
Even
Definitely.
Steve could do it. Well, some
that's
of them.
saying something. That's saying something.
He did burn the shepherd's pie, but the other ones.
All right. Well,
Oh, really? That one
was
so
really good. That one was really good.
Was bomb.
You can easily change your delivery days or food preferences. You can skip a week whenever you want to. Go to hellofresh.com/bigmood12 and use code bigmood12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. Again, go to hellofresh.com/bigmood12 and use code bigmood12 for 12 free meals with the free shipping. So go try America's #1 meal kit.
That food probably goes right through you, huh?
goes right through
Yep.
you.
Oh God,
Right through you.
why are we so disgusting?
I don't know.
Our transitions are fire.
They're disgusting
So
and
good.
terrible. Go ahead.
After you eat, the food goes right through you and you got to poop it out. And you don't want to go to bed and lay down with a dirty butt. And I am a big fan of one wipe poopies. You guys ever had those poopies where you just keep wiping and it just never stops?
You're disgusting.
I just
No.
get in the bath at that point.
Right? And you just start crying. But you don't have to worry about that anymore because of Hello Tushy. Yay! Hello Tushy is a bidet, and we all know that we are huge fans of bidets. We actually have one here. So you've probably been pooping the wrong way your whole life and have no idea. The brand new Hello Tushy 3.0 modern bidet attachment is here, and it's stylish, eco-friendly, easy to install, and affordable. The best part about it is that you don't have to plug it into a plug.
That's so convenient.
You don't have to
Love that.
plug at all. So anyone can have it. Hello Tushy 3.0 doesn't just cleanse your butt with a precise stream of fresh water. It also cleans itself before and after it's used with the Smart Spray automatic self-cleaning nozzle. It attaches to your existing toilet, requires no electricity or additional plumbing, and it cuts toilet paper use by 80%. See? One wipe. Or just a little, like one square, and just pat it dry. So the Hello Tushy bidet practically pays for itself in just a few months. Plus, every Hello Tushy bidet attachment comes with a 60-day risk-free guarantee and a 12-month warranty. Seriously, after you guys, like, the bidet life, you just don't go back from that.
It's hard to because then you feel
really
dirty after, like when you're in a
Definitely.
public restroom that doesn't have one.
Exactly.
It's pretty gross.
I know. I wish it was like Japan here and just every single
know.
toilet have it.
Japan has toilet goals.
So now you can go to hellotushy.com/bigmood to get 10% off plus free shipping. This is a special offer for our listeners. Go to hellotushy.com/bigmood for 10% off plus free shipping. That's hellotushy.com/bigmood. Clean your butt.
Clean your butt.
Clean your
Thanks,
butt.
Gina, for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The secret is you have the water spray up your butt like an enema. Like you have to
Flush it out?
Just relax your butthole, let it go in there. And then not only does it like clean it in there, but it also helps whatever little hidey little small poopies that are still in there that are
You're
hiding come out.
disgusting. Disgusting.
I mean,
I
check
tell
with
you.
a doctor before flushing your asshole
Yeah.
with water. But
Why
sure.
are your walls so sticky? Oh God! Little pieces of Heidi's.
It's healthily lubricated in there. Okay.
Anyways, I don't really know.
Disgusting.
I'm just picturing an asshole with shit and a bunch of water, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's medically sound
Oh, my
advice.
visual was like an intestine.
Oh.
Yeah.
A lot of ridges.
Well, anyways, moving on. When I was going through this topic, prepping for this topic, I looked up sex addiction because I wanted to get a little bit of a better understanding. Because like we hear about it all the time, but like unless you're actually going through it or you know someone that's going through it, maybe you don't fully understand it. What I found, interestingly enough, was that the American Psychiatric Association does not classify compulsive sexual behavior as a diagnosable mental health disorder. It's not listed in the DSM. But the World Health Organization does. So it's weird. Like here in America, the WHO does list it as a mental health disorder. Here in America, we don't list it as a mental health disorder. I found that to be quite interesting and like
You would
very
think
strange.
that addiction in itself, it would be the disorder, because like you get addicted to your phones. Like there's like
Yeah.
get that like addiction,
Or even just the fact that it's a compulsory
compulsive
behavior that,
Yeah.
that it would still classify some sort of mental
I
disorder.
wonder
But
why they don't.
I don't know for sure. But
It's because the people running the American ones are sex addicts.
They're like, this ain't a disorder.
They don't want to
problem.
admit it.
Nah,
It's fine.
it's not a
I can stop anytime.
Yeah.
Watch.
I
I'll
can stop
delete
when I
Pornhub
want.
right
Want to
now.
fuck?
but is that a problem though? The fact that it's not listed as a mental health disorder, is it because we make compulsive or possibly unhealthy sexual behaviors normalized? Like, are we saying like, oh no, that's not a disorder? Like, it's fine to fucking watch porn all day
girl.
long. It's fine to
That's true.
have sex with thousands of people. It's fine. Like, is there some
I mean,
sort
look at
of
our
thing
media
about our
too.
culture?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say, because if I try to make an analogy with alcohol, for example, I think it would be in your ability to stop doing it. Because, like, for me, I like to drink. I could drink a drink every day and then stop. Like, I don't have a problem with stopping. I could go years without drinking at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, Nikki. Go ahead.
I've actually had a full bar the whole pandemic because I can't
Yeah, I've
drink.
noticed that you've stopped drinking.
Yeah, I like don't. If I'm not going, I have to do something after I drink. Also, I get drunk off of one drink, so I'm a really cheap date. But
Same.
but yeah, I judge it by like, I have some friends who had a serious problem where they couldn't stop. Like once they started, they couldn't stop. They would wake up in the morning and want it. Like they would think about it all the time. Like I think it's like you don't stop thinking about it. Whereas like I only really thought about drinking if I was like, oh, we're going out to dinner later. Like, I wonder if they have good martinis.
Right.
that was my
It didn't become
capacity
a
of
chemical addiction for you.
Yeah,
Or a mental one either, really.
So with sex, it's like I could love sex. I do love sex, but I don't think about it all the time, constantly. And when am I
Right.
going to get my next hit?
Whereas someone like, Chris is saying that for him, it did run his life. Like everything he
Yeah.
did, every show he went to all day long, it was running his life. So
like food. Okay, like I
Yeah.
did have an eating disorder.
Yeah.
And at one point in my life, all I could think about were calories and food and
Right.
when my next meal was going to be and how many calories it was going to be. And for like 2 years, like that's all I could think about. And I would get really irritable if like I messed up somehow.
yeah,
or, like,
so even if you didn't have bulimia or anorexia, you still had an eating disorder.
Yeah.
What's the one? Orthorexia?
Orthorexia,
Where
yeah.
You're like
What's that?
Yeah,
you're,
what's that?
it's like we're obsessed with being as healthy as possible.
Like it stresses you out if you're
Yeah.
if you're gonna eat something. Like if you take a bite of a cookie, then you're really stressed out that
Yeah.
you took a bite of a cookie, even though you're not like bulimic, so you're not starving or throwing up, but like it's just
I would go to the gym
unhealthy-
for like 5 hours if I had a bite of a cookie.
Oh man, I need that
Jeez.
disorder.
Gina,
It's like a lighter version. A lighter
didn't
version
lose
of that.
weight,
Gina,
though.
don't
Like-
glorify eating disorder.
Yeah, she
okay.
didn't lose weight.
I
'cause of
didn't
the
really
stress.
lose weight because so much stress. Like,
I'm talking about the gym part.
you could use it, yeah.
Yeah, I could.
I mean,
We could all go to
I'm
the
kidding.
gym. Let's be honest.
Maybe
We
not
could
5
all-
hours. Calm down.
I'm kidding. I love you, Gina.
It's
You're
gonna be one of those
perfect.
days,
You're
Nikki.
perfect. Okay, whatever. Love your body, everyone.
But it's weird because why don't these mental health professionals agree that this could become a mental health disorder?
Because they're stupid.
Are they though?
They're
I mean, these are
stupid.
very like isn't
dumb,
that weird?
Maybe. Do you think maybe it's because it hasn't affected people to the point where they're dying or they're in danger?
Yeah, like what classifies a
But
disorder?
like STDs are like pretty dangerous to people.
I mean,
That's
in
true.
my
That's
anxiety,
true.
it doesn't kill me, but I live with anxiety. and it's still a disorder. Like,
you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just found that to be very interesting, and I feel like more people need to consider, like, you know, mental health professionals need to clarify why that's not considered a mental health disorder.
Very odd.
Then, like,
Wait,
if it's not,
like, is drug addiction considered?
I'm not sure.
Or alcoholism?
But it seems like usually a lot of these, I think addiction and drug addiction would be classified.
Or maybe it's like a male-run industry, this whole like mental health thing, and they're just like, he's just fucking horny. We're all horny.
Maybe if your body's not physically dependent on it.
That's true, because you're not physical, but you. I think they probably get physically dependent on whatever rush of dopamine, serotonin, or whatever.
Like they wouldn't have physical withdrawals, though.
That's
you know,
true.
like where, you know, if you are addicted to opium or whatever.
That's a chemical addiction.
Yeah.
Or they don't shut down. Like anxiety makes you shut down and can't do anything. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like, I think it does. Like, for example, like sex addiction or porn addiction. Like, there are things that happen to you after you stop.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I think it does affect your
like your perspective
your brain,
or whatever
psychologically.
it is. Yeah, psychologically
for sure. But you know, your body being physically, you know, I'm going into physical withdrawals or like being physically dependent on it.
Yeah, it's a weird gray area where it's like, you know, you do these actions that then give you surges of chemicals like dopamine. Then do you become reliant on those surges of dopamine from the actions that you're taking in order to get them? It's really questionable.
Because so with dopamine, it's like we all get that from our phones. That's why social media is becoming an addiction. We do get those spikes in dopamine from like likes and comments and whatever, or just like scrolling. I don't know what it is really, but it's not. I don't think that's considered a disorder yet because it doesn't really have.
That's the key point there. Yet
I think we've yet to like cross over that hill, and maybe they will eventually get classified that way because.
Or maybe not. The freaking lobbyists that have.
Oh yeah, well
they're gonna be
once
like,
they can make money off it.
Yeah, true. Once they can make, how do we diagnose and then give them a cure for it?
They can make patches like nicotine patches, but they're social media patches.
Yeah,
or they give you that brick for a phone where there's like literally
fake,
nothing.
You just like fake scroll. But yeah, so I did want to list out, because maybe people don't know, like, am I addicted to sex or how do I know or whatever. So I did find they listed out things. Behaviors and attitudes may include inability to contain sexual urges, detachment, meaning that the sexual activity does not emotionally satisfy you, strong feelings of attractions to other alongside continually being in love and starting new romances. So I guess that's the love addiction part of the sex addiction, but feelings of guilt and shame, giving up social, work-related, recreational activities. So it's just a lot of things like meeting up with sex workers, cybersex, practicing unsafe sex, persistent use of pornography, multiple affairs, multiple sexual partners, one-night stands, compulsive masturbation. So that's got to be difficult, I would say, to pick a line and say this is where you've crossed it.
Right.
Unless it's just, I mean, if you can go to work, like Chris, he went to work, he showed up to every gig he had. He got married, he had a kid, he has a relationship with his parents, his brother, he's functioning in every area of his life, but then also chasing this addiction and like disturbing a lot of other people's lives from it, like his fans that kind of got used and thrown away. So at what point do we give him a pass and be like, oh, this is an addiction, I understand he has an addiction and I'm willing to forgive him for that? And at what point is it like not?
Right.
It's just behavior that's just shitty.
Yeah, that's a tough question. That's a great philosophical question.
That's what I would like. Because like I struggle with that, and but it seems like a lot of people, especially men, like they'll give him a pass. I don't know why. I mean, like Louis C.K. came back really fast.
Did he?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's functioning in the comedy world now.
Did he come back?
He came. He came so hard back.
I did buy his new special, I will say.
Yeah. So
I just had to see what it was like.
Was it good? Any good?
Was it good?
Yeah. He actually, a lot of it was about what he went through. So
shit, I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I liked Louis C.K. too.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
It's weird because I toe this line of like being a warrior for women, because women are often victims of male sexual
what he did was
deviancy.
wrong.
Right.
True, but it's like, I don't know.
So that's another question I have
Right.
for you guys. do we need to hold entertainers to a level of moral perfection? Do we expect entertainers who are probably kind of fucked up anyway? Because why do you want to be an entertainer? You know, like,
are you attacking all of us?
I know. I'm like,
yes, I'm attacking all of us right now.
I know.
Everyone in this room.
Just because she's quitting to be a CPA, she's like, why would you even want that?
No. I'm just saying, like,
or 10 key.
why do entertainers have to be moral, upstanding citizens?
I don't
guess
know.
that's a question. Like,
but even if like it was a regular dude I was dating that trapped me in a room and started masturbating, or like I wasn't dating him, he's just a friend, like that, I don't think that. I mean, that's not an entertainer. I would still hold them to the same standard.
No, that's what I mean. Is though, like,
that.
these people, like, so is it okay to like let people like Chris and Lewis come back because we're like, well, they're fucking entertainers. They're degenerates anyway.
Or like
we
R. Kelly coming back. Can we listen to R. Kelly? Are you asking permission?
No, I don't want permission for that.
That one was actually a minor.
No, right.
He was locking women.
I mean, that's
in
along
rooms.
the lines of what you're saying, though,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, do we take the entertainer or like the art for like its own thing?
Do we allow that to exist?
Yeah.
Separate the art
Yeah,
from the artist.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that is a really great question. And also, I think that everyone has their own personal moral line.
Right.
You know, where, you know, I know a lot of girls, women in comedy that will never accept Louis C.K. back in the space.
Right.
You know?
Well, especially his own victims, probably.
Well, yeah, that, but yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really
It's hard.
tough because I mean, I'm conflicted too because I think about that. But then also, like, if you think about, like, if you broaden that idea and then you go into, like, well, what about companies? What about, like, brands that we buy or that whatever that we endorse? Like, we don't know every
All the
single
behind the
practices of everything they've done or to get to where they are. Like, we don't know.
Like the iPhone that there's children making
Exactly,
these iPhones,
things like
but
that.
we still use these iPhones.
Or fast fashion. Oof, that's an
Exactly.
Really
industry.
bad.
Right. So then it's like, well, fuck, like, where do you draw the line? Like, how do you feel about all that? There's a ton of people out there that do their due diligence. They actually research a lot of stuff. And I'm like, more power to you, Max. I don't know how to do that. I don't have the energy for that. But like, morally though, like, I would love to.
Yeah, can you ever be perfect
Yeah.
in all of your daily activities that you do and who you support and what you support and what you buy from and where you spend your money? Yeah, I feel like
Have you guys ever seen The Good Place?
I watched a few seasons.
Because
I
there's
watched
this
a
one
few
part.
episodes, but it got a little dry for me.
So there's this one part that really reminds me of what we're talking about right now. So The Good Place, just a quick recap, it's like it's a sitcom show where they think that they're in heaven, but really they're in hell, but they call it the bad place and the good place. And so there's this one part where they're trying to find
That's
out.
a spoiler.
Well,
That doesn't happen for seasons into it.
no, it happens at the last season. I mean, the first season at the end of the first season. Okay, sorry, I spoiled it. But the point that I'm trying to get to
There's still
is
a lot more show.
I actually didn't get
there's a
there.
lot. There's a
still
lot more show
after that.
Okay,
The point.
surprise. I had heard it before, but I
Sorry if I spoiled it for
Go
you. But the point is, once they end up getting to like the accountants, like when they're actually tallying up your points when you're on Earth to see if you make it to the good place or the bad place, everyone on Earth for the past, I don't know how many years, have been tallying up points or getting negative
Merits,
points.
yeah.
Because of all these things, for example, like, oh, now I own an iPhone, I get a negative 1,000 points
Because of child
because
labor
of the child
meters.
labor.
Yeah.
So it's just like no matter what we do, like way back in the day, like centuries ago, you know, a guy would pick a flower for his mom, like give his mom flowers, and like, you know, he got it himself and all this stuff, and so he got plus points. But then today, if you go to the grocery store and get some flowers for your mom, you're gonna get negative a ton of points because you don't know like the labor that went into that, all the ethical like
Right, like
things.
the people in
Yeah.
the fields are probably massively underpaid
Right.
and taken advantage of and all
So
that.
that's why
Yeah.
I brought it up, because I was just like, yeah, like how do we?
I think if you live in the first world, there's no way you're not contributing to that. Like even
Like we stand on the backs of the people in the fields.
Yeah.
I mean, just by existing here, living here, and being
our
here.
culture and society has built it around
Yeah.
that, where you can't function in it without somehow
Yeah.
contributing.
But I mean, we're not purposely individually affecting the lives of other people negatively, right?
Yeah.
So at least like if we know about things, we can make the decision now. Oh, as a consumer, well, I can choose not to do that because whatever. I'm just going to make my own food now. I'm going to move out to the country, grow my own food. I'm not going to have an iPhone. I'm not going to, you can choose to participate or not. Whereas someone like Chris, he's choosing to masturbate in front of a woman in her own car. So there's obviously a difference in that type of activity.
I think consent is always the thing. And I know in his apology, he was like, all of my acts were consensual. So, but then, with the allegations,
there's some allegations that don't, like the exposure ones, where he's kind of glossing over, like, if he was in his hotel room and he called the manager to come up to fix his AC, but he was naked while he was in there. Is that consensual? I don't.
Oh, that's no.
Is that true? I don't know, because I looked that specific allegation up. The hotel itself was like, we never got any reports from any staff, so we don't know. But, when it comes to a celebrity, it's hard to say if people are going to rat them out or not. They don't know if their own job's going to be affected.
That's true. Yeah, there's a power dynamic there that, like, you're almost too scared to rat someone out.
And I did have this other question. I thought, is it easier to hold the moral high ground when you're not being constantly bombarded with the things that you would become addicted to or that could potentially turn you into a bit of a deviant? So, like, say Gina has like a penchant for, maybe she's curious about eating people. Maybe she wants to try. Maybe she wants to try a little piece of someone's leg. I mean, so if you got to go to a buffet every weekend and try pieces of human, could it potentially affect you and turn you into an actual cannibal to where then you would go and murder people? I mean, like, there's some weird kind of deviant thing that maybe all of us have kind of sitting somewhere deep inside of us, but we're not given that on a platter on a daily basis to say no to.
Right.
So, like, if we're given basically the thing that we want, like, say I like money and I want to go buy fucking Hermes bags, right? Like, would I get to a point to where I'm going to start doing, like, illegal things to make sure that I can keep that money and then to keep buying, like, so.
Well, that's why there's all these fucked up scenarios with people in power, like people that have, like, a lot of money. I mean, Epstein, like all these things are coming to light because once you get to a certain point where you can have anything you want, it gets weirder and weirder, and then you don't even know where normal ended.
So then, like, is that human nature to, like, once you reach this level of too much power,
maybe we should find out if, like, we're even able to create more humans,
right?
So
that I can eat more.
Well, not that, Gina.
No,
okay,
we're not going to eat.
No? All right, no.
Move away from that, and let's talk about.
Although you can eat the placenta.
I heard that's healthy.
I don't think you
if
should.
you eat your own placenta, it helps your nails and hair and stuff.
Right.
And I don't think that's
only your own. Yeah,
it's not medically sound advice, but you know what is medically sound? Modern fertility.
Thank you, Jess. So Modern Fertility is a home fertility testing kit, and so this has actually been really helpful for me personally. So once we got sponsored, they sent us over home kits, and I sent mine in. I got my results, and I was getting really worried because Casey and I have been trying so I took out my birth control 2 years ago, but really been trying since like September. And I'm Mexican, so I'm like,
why aren't you already pregnant?
Fertile. You're born with 5 babies.
Exactly.
So your whole life should be a pregnancy.
Right. So I'm like, why am I not pregnant yet? And so I got worried. And so that's why I was just so grateful.
It's the European blood.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah.
So then I was really grateful that they were able to send us a kit. And so I got my results. Turns out I'm normal for my age.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm like, oh, phew. You got yours too?
Yeah, I got mine back. Mine says normal and everything. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I have symptoms and I wanted hormones to be the reason it's not.
All right. Well, first of all, before telling you how to get this kit, I do want to mention that traditional testing with your doctor can cost over $1,000. But Modern Fertility only costs $159 to get the same exact information. All you have to do is do a simple finger prick and then mail it in with a prepaid label, and then you'll get your personalized results within 10 days. Also, if you have an HSA or FSA, you can use those dollars on Modern Fertility.
Nice.
You'll get insight into how many eggs you have, like Nikki, hormone levels like Jess, and other important fertility factors like what I received as well. And so the results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can also talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/mood. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or thousands it could cost at a doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/mood. That's modernfertility.com/mood.
That's pretty good.
So
Get
many
those
doll
insights.
hairs.
And if you want to start getting busy making those humans, maybe you want some nice sheets to lay on.
Yeah.
Our next sponsor's Brooklyn.
I put my Brooklinen sheets on yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
The freshly washed ones.
How's that feeling for you?
They feel like butter.
Yeah.
The more you wash them too, the better they feel.
It's true. They get softer.
They do.
They're like the only sheets that I've ever had that feel like a hotel. Like it
Yeah.
really feels like that hotel
Yeah,
quality.
and it's the only sheets I've had where they feel better when you wash them too. Because I've got some other sheets, and I've washed them probably about 15 times now, and they're starting to feel like they're falling apart.
Don't wash your sheets.
Gina. But yes, when I wash my Brooklinen sheets, they feel better for
Wait,
some
how
reason.
often do you guys wash your sheets?
Every 2
Once a
weeks.
week?
Every 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
But there's only one person in my bed, and so I sleep
too?
for.
Yeah.
Look,
Jeez,
is
I'm
this-
disgusting.
Is this weird? Because I sleep for 1 week on one side of my bed, and then I sleep for.
Oh my God.
I have a king size bed.
It's cute.
So Brooklinen was started by Rich and Vicky, who also tried to find beautiful home essentials that didn't cost an arm and a leg. And when they couldn't, they founded Brooklinen as the first direct-to-consumer bedding company. They work directly with manufacturers to make luxury available directly to you without the luxury level markups. Brooklinen has a variety of sheets, colors, patterns, and material. I got like stripy ones. It looks really good.
Me too. I got that one.
Yeah?
I got
Nice.
that stripe. Oh wait, no, sorry. Mine are like plaid.
Liar.
Like- okay, sorry.
I got the solid white and the solid cream.
Boring. Okay. They have over 50,000 5-star reviews. Jess did 2 of them because she sleeps on 2 different sides of the bed. And Brooklinen is so much more than sheets. They got comforters, they got pillows, towels. Oh, the
Bryce, get
towels
us
are
the
so
comforter.
soft.
What the hell?
Can we get towels? I need towels.
They even have loungewear
Okay.
Thanks, Bryce.
and more.
Ooh, loungewear. Can I get loungewear?
Loungewear.
I didn't even know they got loungewear.
Yeah, go check it out. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code MOOD to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code MOOD to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. Brooklinen.com and use promo code MOOD at checkout.
That's right.
That's a big discount, 25%.
Nice.
It's a lot of doll hairs.
Oh my god. Big fan of Brooklinen.
Set the mood with the right sheets. There you go.
Good job. That took a while.
Yeah, it
I
hurts.
was like, is she having a
That
stroke?
took
What's happening?
too long, honestly. Okay, back to our topic of discussion. 'Cause
Yeah.
I gotta keep you bitches in
Hey,
line
Jess
here.
was a fan fucker. Like she was a fan that fucked up. Like
Oh,
Starfucker.
Starfucker, yes.
Yeah, she's
And
Starfucker.
That's why I have such strong opinions against it because
yeah.
I actually experienced it. But
If
anyway,
she hadn't gotten blocked, this could have been her.
true.
Oh
This is true.
shit.
You could have
Do
been
you
the
think you
wife he
would
was
have
cheating
fucked
on.
Chris?
no, I actually have a boner for his brother Matt D'Elia.
Ooh, shoot your shot, girl.
Can you guys tag
Delia.
Matt? Tag Matt and Jess's Instagram,
No.
please.
If
No,
you
no, no,
are
no, 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 no.
Matt
single
D'Elia.
boy.
Yeah.
No.
Just his Instagram.
We've talked so much shit about his brother at this point. I think my chances
Imagine he
with,
becomes your
my
brother-in-law.
chances with Matt are
I
zero.
think we're being pretty fair.
I think we are. No, okay, so my question again was, do you guys think that if you were bombarded with easy access to your vices, that you would be
Addicted?
either perfect or would you
No
succumb
one's
to your
perfect.
addictions? How do
I
we
tested
know?
myself. I fostered kittens, and I was like, "Am I going to adopt all these kittens?" Turns out I have some good willpower.
I mean,
That's not really what we're
That was
talking
steep.
about.
You said my vices.
Okay, having lots of kittens is not a vice. Think about your own personal.
so cute.
Seriously, though, think about your own personal vice. Like, what's something that you kind of do that you're
Dude,
kind of like, I don't think I should do this, but
I know
if it
I'm
got
not
out of
perfect
hand,
because I'm literally doing it every day.
which is what?
My vice is to be
Animal
a
Crossing?
sloth.
Oh,
Oh, a sloth?
oh, that's a
No,
that's a seven
That's just
deadly sin.
depression.
I know,
That's
yeah.
okay.
It's just depression. No, I don't think I'm depressed. I don't think so. I do think I
I
might
think you're
have
a high functioning depressant.
maybe. I don't know. Who knows? But every day though, if I don't have something scheduled or like a commitment that I have to do that's outside of a commitment that I've made to myself, like for example, if I tell myself like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to do some yoga, outside of that, because I won't do it, I will just lay in bed.
That doesn't
or
hurt
like
anyone,
lounge
though.
around.
I know. I don't think our vices
doesn't
hurt
hurt
anybody.
anyone.
No, it hurts. It hurts my family.
Oh.
They want to spend time with me, and then
Gina,
sorry.
she wants a
hanging.
fist bump for being a lazy piece of shit.
No, yeah, but like, no, yeah, it hurts because like sometimes, you know, like, well, more recently, I'm like trying to peel away. I'm like, bitch, you could do this shit. And then so like I've been trying to go hiking and stuff, but like, you know, with Isaac, I see him growing up so quickly. He's already 13, and like his whole childhood, I'm like, there was so much more that I could have done.
Maybe you have low iron
Maybe.
or some like vitamin deficiencies.
I
or
really
something.
think I have a vitamin deficiency somewhere.
I mean, that's easily figured out.
When I tested low on, I think it was B12 and vitamin D, I was low on D. I found out my birth control was actually blocking my absorption, but anyway, I loaded up on supplements, and also I changed my diet a little bit. I used to have to take a nap at like 3 p.m. every day. Like I was so fatigued all day, every day. And then that vitamin deficiency thing, like turning that around, I had so much more energy. Also like going plant-based for a while.
Wait, how do you test that?
There we go.
Sorry. How do you test? Yeah,
You
vitamin.
can go to your doctor. My
Just a simple blood
gynecologist
test.
did it. Yeah, it was a blood
your
blood
gyno
test.
did it?
Yeah.
How do they do a blood test?
Literally, you can go to
Curious.
like Quest Diagnostics and just get
Yeah.
a blood. It's the easiest
Quest
thing ever.
Diagnostics.
But I'm talking about vices though. Like maybe you like to drink a lot or something. Like maybe when you drink, then you start cheating. If you had constant access to go out every weekend and cheat, like, you know, like at what point do you feel like you're perfect? And if you had the opportunity to have everything you could ever want served to you, do you think that you would be
Abuse it?
Yeah, like
I would for sure.
my question is like, is
If
it
I
easy
had
to
those.
stand on the moral high ground because we don't have access to the things that we could go down the hole with? Or do we really feel like, no, there's some people who even when they have access to everything,
I think
that
it
they
brings
won't
out
do
who
it.
you really are. Like
Yeah.
I honestly just think that money and power bring out who you really are. A lot of people get money and power and they're huge philanthropists and they start big charities and they give a lot to the world.
Some people could still be good with all the money and with all the power.
Yeah, because I mean, when I really try to be honest with that situation, I don't know if there's a thing that I'm like dying to do. Like there really isn't.
Same.
So
Yeah,
I
same.
think
That's why I was trying to put myself in the perspective of if I had those, knowing me, I don't think I would be
like we'd all be
perfect.
like travel addicts.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's like
Gotta go to all the beaches in the world.
yeah.
because I
We're gonna
feel
hurt
like
those beaches.
the reason why I bring this up though is because I feel like a lot of men excuse behavior like this, like from Lewis and Chris, because they're like, well, if you had access to all these women and if you had access to all of, like, who would you know, you'd probably do
They're
the
living
same
out a
thing
high school
too.
fantasy. Honestly,
Right.
they're just like they wanted all these things since they were younger. They saw other people getting them, and then now finally, when they're way older, they have all the money and power, and women are flocking to them. A feeling they've never had before.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe they've always secretly craved it. And so, yeah, I can see how that would affect someone's mental state. I think it all depends on how you grew up,
So,
how
like,
much
they
of
were
you was
already
fulfilled
kind
throughout
of
your life.
lacking.
Like, yeah.
It's so hard for me to form an opinion on this because I don't really have like an addictive.
Like, can't relate,
personality.
yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
relate
same.
to it. Yeah.
Not really an addictive personality.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I do have another question. And it involves like the celebrity or like the general public versus the general public versus the celebrity, and like when people come out with their apology videos and all of that, and then, you know, the fans have to take it in and decide what we're going to do with it, accept it or not, allow his career to come back or not. Do we stay mad at celebrities because they're not necessarily having these behavior epiphanies on their own? It's like they got exposed and then now they're forced to change that behavior. So like Chris, if he didn't get exposed, he said he would have probably continued to do this kind of sexual deviant behavior. He would have continued to cheat on his wife. Is it harder to forgive him now because we know that he was just forced into this, like, oh, this behavior is not good and now I'm embarrassed? Or is it hard to forgive because of that, or does it change the dynamic of forgiveness at all?
You had to hit rock bottom, something bad happens to you, then you realize you're wrong. So which one is it? Or then you realize you had to change? Oh man, that's a tough one.
It depends on what it is too, because like with Bill Cosby, like 60-something women coming out and saying they got drugged and raped the same exact way. It's a little harder to like wrap your head around the like forgiveness area, because that caused trauma in so many women. You know, I think it's about how many other lives you affected. I mean, in my personal opinion, because I think everyone's different when it comes to how much of a fan they were, how bad they think their celebrity fucked up, you know, how good they apologize. You know, I think everyone's got their own levels of what they're willing to accept. But for me, if it's like you personally inflicted pain and trauma on other people and other people's lives, it's harder to come back from that, I think.
With malicious intent.
Yeah, and taking advantage.
Right.
And
would you feel differently if instead of being exposed, one day he just got on his podcast and he was like, you know what, guys, I've not been able to sleep. I realize that I've had an addiction and I've been treating my fans like a commodity. I've been sleeping. Like, if he exposed himself, would we forgive him differently?
That's
better.
Yeah, that's better.
Way better.
Yeah.
So it's better for you to just be upfront with it, confront it, move past it, and be better. And so, like, if Chris would actually come out on his own and actually say, like, yeah, like, expose himself, and then, because that taking accountability is the first step, really, is like acknowledging.
I don't even think he knew that he was doing something wrong, you know?
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think
At
he
that
did
point.
either. That's the hard part on
That's
this
true.
on this particular instance.
You
Yeah.
think so? Even when there was no consent given, he whipped out his wiener?
I don't know.
Maybe he was drinking, he didn't realize.
You can
like,
also
in
play
that
it off
moment.
as
He says he
as
doesn't
being
drink.
a comedian. Yeah, he
shit.
doesn't drink.
Oh, then
Apparently
he doesn't
he
even
doesn't-
have that.
There was a
doesn't drink.
couple other comedians that after this came out, like a couple other like got almost like secondhand exposed because like other comedians had also done these things, like whip their dick out, and I don't know if that's just a thing in that circle. I've never had that happen to me.
Well, there was
but-
one story with Chris where another comedian said that like he would whip his dick out like just in front of like if there's guys in the room and girls, like he would joke around with it and be like,
Yeah.
oh, here's my dick, like it kind of like a locker room thing that turned into
Yeah.
like too much, and now there's also women in the room, so like what the fuck. But like I can see it, like the guys when they get together, they create kind of like they will kind of create that toxic kind of environment that's crosses lines. But then if you're in it, you kind of maybe don't realize how bad or toxic it is.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, they're fucking comics. They're degenerates. So it's
Yeah.
like some are better than others, but it's weird. It's a weird environment.
Right.
And especially for women, it's very difficult for them to be in it as it is. And then to be exposed to that kind of sucks too.
In a room full of people, yeah, but like just one-on-one locked in a car.
Right.
Yeah, that's really scary.
Yeah.
That's where I think if you are suffering an addiction, if you're able to live with yourself after doing something like that, you must be able to justify it in your head somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Somehow.
like when I was on drugs, like I would justify whatever action I had to do. I did coke and went to church once. You know, I justify like in my head reasons why it's okay.
Right.
I mean,
To
the higher you are, the
continue.
closer to God. So
Yeah,
I
I mean,
get it. You know?
Jesus.
I'd be a great drug addict if I can justify like that. Jesus Christ.
yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good justification.
Yeah, but the whole forgiveness thing, though, like I think if he with his actions, I guess it's just really how he's probably gonna gain the respect of his own audience, of the public. It's just like, how are you gonna conduct yourself moving forward?
Yeah. Was he able to save his relationship?
I think he's still with his fiance, as far as I know.
Oh.
Like, and no one's announced that they're not together, as far as I know.
So what's the public reaction to this video? How were the comments? How do they feel about him?
Obviously mixed.
Positive. Well, okay. Well, when I was looking through them.
Well,
and
if
they
you look
seemed
at
very
comments on
positive.
his channel, right, and then you go to Reddit, like sometimes
Oh,
there's a
right.
different story because like
Right.
we
You didn't
don't
filter your.
we don't know what's filtered. We don't know, but then also I think a lot of his fans, they did really feel a vacuum or a void when he left because he left so suddenly. There was no clear evidence of anything illegal per se. So a lot of them were like, "Hey, he doesn't need to just fucking blast off the face of the earth because he whipped his dick out." Louis C.K. did the same thing. He's still here. So why did Chris have to
well,
be so gone? So I think a lot of people were quick to like want to.
Louis C.K. was
justify
gone
it.
for like almost a year though too. Like or actually I
That's
think
true,
over
but
a year.
we forget, you
Yeah.
know, like we forget, like he's back and he's fine. I mean, not fine, but he's back and he's working. So I think it's easy to forget.
Yeah. I guess if you're a fan, you don't see like all the other stuff that they're going through, you know? You're just like, "Wait, come back."
Yeah.
Did
You
he
know?
address the reason why he disappeared? Was it for like legal reasons or just because he wanted to get away? Or
Oh, he did. He ended
What
up
did he
saying,
say?
he said that
He just felt it was best to just be gone.
right. Like he just felt like like he came out with the statement and he wanted the statement to speak for itself. And that's why like
Yeah.
he just wanted that like this buffer time to just like let himself focus on how he needs to be better or like his own.
Fix his relationship. I'm
Yeah.
sure his girl
His
was like
family.
gonna leave him. I mean, it probably got really bad, so he
Yeah.
needed. And then how do you get on your podcast the next week and like be funny when a lot of your
Exactly.
comedy kind of oddly skirts around like having this ego and like you're so rich, you know, like doesn't make a dent. It's like, well, your reputation has a huge fucking dent now.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been the right move to just continue as normal after all of that. No, I think that he did the right thing in that regard to like take some time and reflect. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I think everyone has their own line.
right.
It's really, yeah, it's really just a philosophical question at that point.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, since I didn't see any actual illegal behavior, I don't feel like his career should be completely tanked. Although morally, I disagree with a lot of his behavior, so it's gonna be hard for me to like jump right back into being a fan.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at on it. I'm like, I don't know if the behavior is stopped, then that's good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of, or I was
So-
never like a fan of his, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to comment. But I am a fan of Eminem. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah.
And
No way.
We know.
He's gotten accused of a lot of things over the years. I've been a fan for over 20
I mean,
years.
listen to his lyrics. He talks about like
I know.
fucking beating women and
Yeah,
like
but that's
killing them. And
artistic. That's
Sure.
that's art. It's
Sure.
You ever
great. He's a
feel
great guy.
It's like, you know, when you're like you have so much passion in your relationship, you like love them, but you hate them so much because you love them so much. And
yeah, you just want to fucking murder them. Yeah.
yeah. So he got
Sometimes.
it out through art.
hopefully.
But
that's-
anyway,
watch
he's-
we find out he has like a basement full of fucking
geez.
dead women.
No, Jess.
Okay, sorry.
No, don't ruin him for me.
Sorry.
But yeah, like he's gone through a lot of scandals. He got, you know, banned from MTV. It was a lot of stuff. But I think like as a fan, I have like seen him grow and evolve, and like he's apologized for certain things, and
You give him a pass as
I'm
a
a fan.
tortured artist.
yeah, and just someone that was an outcast and was like beat on like all through his childhood, and I he went through a lot. His mom
Trauma
had
begets
Munchausen syndrome,
trauma.
hypoxia. Yeah, and so yeah, like I kind of see all that, and I'll weigh all of these things. But I know tons of people like that in our social circle that will not ever be a fan, or just like he's misogynistic, he's homophobic, he's like all of these things.
He's very
and-
problematic, to be honest.
right. And so like as a fan, I'm like, no, I don't think so. But
Yeah.
if you're an outsider or you just have like these facts that you're just, you know, these things that you're just seeing on the surface, I think it's easier to make a judgment and be like, ew, what a gross person.
Right.
Yeah. So I think it's all up to how much you want to delve into knowing that person and how much benefit of the doubt you want to give and where you are as a fan.
Yeah. How much humanity you allow people to have that also includes the dark side
Yeah.
of humanity. But
So I think he's been very self-aware and open with all of his mistakes. And I think that's at the end of the day.
Marshall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, being a fan of anybody when they're willing to like open up, admit their mistakes, and like move on and like evolve and grow, like
Oh,
what?
M&M Marshall Mathers.
Oh my God.
Are you fucking
And that's the end of our
kidding me?
show.
That's the most. That's the latest fucking
Wow.
realization of that.
Wow.
That's a 30-year-old realization, Gina.
Anyways, thanks for watching our episode, y'all. I learned something new today, and it wasn't any of this.
Just literally about Marshall Mathers. Anyways, yes, subscribe to our show if you enjoyed this conversation. If you really want to support the show, the best way is to visit one of our sponsors because they're the ones that keep this show running.
And to
Other
give us
than
5
that-
stars on
Yeah,
iTunes.
iTunes, rate us, comment, any sort of interaction with this show, whether it's just clicking on it and letting it run, who fucking knows?
Share
Just
with your friends.
Share with your friends.
Or
Just-
talk shit in the comments. I'll talk shit back, and we can go back and forth and get a ton of comments.
yeah, say that I sound boring in bed, and I'll write back and I'll say, well, you sound like a rapist. So, you know, let's have a conversation. Let's have fun.
Fuck it.
Let's do it. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.